Hello and welcome to this Forex Preview at XM.com. I'm Maria Pachardez, and joining me is investment analyst Cristina Parthenidu. We'll be discussing the Bank of England's upcoming policy meeting on Thursday and the outlook for the pound. So, Cristina, the Bank of England has already slashed rates twice to almost zero in March, and it has significantly increased its quantitative easing program to support the economy from the virus pandemic. What should we be looking at this time?
That will be the second meeting for the new chief, Andrew Bailey, but the first to announce his quarterly economic projections during this health crisis period and before GDP data come out later this month. So the focus will mainly be on the central bank's economic outlook, especially for the second quarter, and particularly we would like to hear about how negative GDP growth could be in the second quarter after the Office for Budget Responsibility warned about the 35% contraction this spring and an overall drop of 14% for the whole year of 2020, while also saying that unemployment could rise by more than 2 million this spring, which personally I wouldn't be very surprised given the terrible numbers from business indicators. Now, on top of that, it will be also interesting to know if the central bank believes over a V-shaped recovery, meaning a rapid bounce back, or otherwise an economic weakness that could persist for a longer period of time and therefore require more financial help from both the central bank and the government. Of course, that may depend on how quickly the government will start to lift lockdown measures relative to other economies which have already started to gradually scale back restrictions. But since we don't have a clear downtrend in daily infections yet, as in other countries, I think that will be a challenging decision for Boris Johnson, who is scheduled to announce his easing plans on Thursday as well.
Okay, so do you think the central bank could deliver more stimulus this week?
As you have mentioned, interest rates are already near zero, so there's not much comfort on stimulus on that front. Perhaps the central bank could further expand its QE program by raising its government and corporate bond purchases, or at least show willingness to do so in the coming months, as the virus drama is not expected to end in the near term. However, I don't expect any important adjustment in QE this week, as the ECB did last week, not before the government clarifies how the economy will safely and gradually remove its lockdown measures. Moreover, we shouldn't forget that the UK government has another Brexit deadline to meet at the end of the year, so the Prime Minister and the Central Bank should be prepared for extra support in case the transition period extends beyond this year.
Turning to the pound now, should we expect more losses this week after a negative start to the month?
That may depend on the central bank's economic outlook and the government's announcement about its reopening plans. If policymakers deliver a negative message about the country's economic performance in the second quarter, discouraging about a V-shaped recovery as well, and the government announces a more cautious reopening than other countries did, then I think the pound may look for new lows, probably within the 1.23 and 1.22 area against the US dollar.
Cristina, thanks so much. And thanks for joining us at XM.com.